The formality of marriage in Korea won't last 30 more years. Can't you feel the dynamic changes in the Korean lifestyle? This current trend will become a history. The marriage culture of Korea is changing rapidly as well. My good friend Mr. Lee, the CEO of Couple.net, told me something very interesting. The formality of marriage in Korea won't last 30 years from now. You may not experience this yet, but this may be the last generation that is showing the traditional form of Korean formality when it comes to terms of marriage. Mr. Lee worked over 30 years in this field of marriage, so he's well knowledgeable about this change, better than anyone else. Let me tell you something, he told me. He had a consultation with a woman in her 30s. She came with her mother and grandmother. Her grandmother, who is 84 years old, got married in her 20s. Her mother, who is 57 years old, got married when she was 23 years old. She is 34 years old, but the girl herself is 34 years old, not the mom. So the girl now is 34 years old, but doesn't really have any plans of marriage yet. In 1990, the average age for marriage for a woman was 27, and for men was 24. In 2020, the average age for marriage for men was 33 years old, and for women was 30. So now you look at this number. The average age of people in their 30 went up by 5 years. And our mothers and grandmothers' generation, 34 years old, as a woman was considered late marriage. However, in this generation, it's not like that. Instead, it seems awkward if you marry in your 20s. Since this younger generation is getting married late, or even don't even want to get married, the parents are slowly accepting this new trend of marriage. Parents can't enforce or impose their will on their children anymore. It doesn't work like that these days. On the other hand, moving in together as a couple before marriage has become pretty common these days. In the past, moving in with someone before marriage was considered irresponsible. But nowadays, it's quite acceptable. There are more couples that want to live together, but don't want to go through the complicated process of marriage and pay high prices these days. It is common practice to register your marriage right after your wedding. However, these people, these days I should say, choose not to register or just postpone it for a while. They want to try to live together first and see how it goes, just in case. Since COVID-19, weddings have become simpler, and some even do online wedding. This just goes to tell you how formality of marriage has freed. If this trend continues, within 10 or 20 years, the current formality of marriage might disappear.